Hi everyone, in this video we are going to learn on how you can build your very first AI agent using n8n tool. This was a tool which was very popular among the community to build the automation, but with the introduction to the AI agents, now everybody is using this platform. It is actually not free. It has a starting plan of 20 euros and 50 euros, but if you go to n8n.io, you can actually use it for free for 14 to 15 days. This is how their homepage looks like, and the URL is n8n.io. You need to click on get started and it just fill up all this form and you'll get a trial for about 14 to 15 days. I already have an account, so I'm going to click on sign in and it creates a workspace. I'm going to click on sign in. So this is how your your landing page would look like. Not exactly, it will look something like this. I'm going to change it. This is how your actually the first view will look like, right? So maybe what you can do is, some people really love to use the dark theme, is you can come to the settings and from this bottom three dot, click on it, settings, come down, select the dark theme and save it, and there you go. Now what you can do is you can create projects. Now since it's a free trial, you can see at the top that I only have 6 days left. You can put your different work or different workflows together in a project. So a project is like a folder, and inside that folder you can have different workflows. Similarly, even in n8n you have a project, and inside the project you can have many workflows. So I'm going to click on this YouTube project that I've created. You can just click on plus and create project, since I don't have any more limits left in this subscription, so it doesn't allow me, but it's okay. You need one, that's more than enough. So you click on YouTube, that's the project I've created, and from the top you can click on create workflow, and this is where all the drama takes place, right? I actually forgot to tell you what we are going to build. We're actually going to build a Telegram bot where you can send a message, and it's gonna have all your expense details, and it will then save it to your Google sheet. That is what we are going to build. Okay, so I'm going to come back to this n8n and click on this add first step button, and the very first thing that we're going to do is search for Telegram, and here we're going to click say on message. So this is going to be a trigger. Now it is asking me for the credentials, right? So select credentials, create new one, and here it needs access token. So if you actually click on their open docs, and they have written it very nicely, you will find out that to create an access token you need to start a chat with bot father bot, right? So you come back here to the Telegram, um, uh, cancel, open in web, and here you can start the chat. And the very first thing that you need to do is enter new bot, right? That's how you chat it. So I'm gonna say new bot. So now it's asking how are we going to call it. I'm gonna say n8n expenses. Okay, now it is asking me to choose a username, and it is telling me to please make sure that it must end with bot. And it has to be unique. So I'm gonna say n8n expenses Jimmy bot. So there you go, the bot has been created. You can access it using this link, but what we are interested at the moment is this thing, the access token. So click on it, it gets copied, come back to your workflow, paste it here, click on save at the top right, and there you go, it is connected. And in a moment you will see that the connection has also been tested. That was pretty quick, right? So now that our Telegram is connected, let's actually go ahead and test it. What we can do is we can hover over this node and click on play, and it will say waiting for the trigger. We'll click on this thing and click on start chat. This is our bot actually. Now it is already sent the first message on its own, so it may have stopped working. That's right, but we don't want that. We're again going to click on this play, or what you can also do is you can double click on it, and on the left you can find an execute step. Click on execute step. Now it is waiting for the trigger to be run. I'll say hello from Telegram, and if you come here you can see that it has been executed, and under the text here you can find that the message is hello from Telegram. So it means this bot is working, and this node is working, and it is accessing the data from the Telegram. Perfect. What we need to do now next is to add an AI agent. So you click on the plus icon here, and from here you search for agent. You click on it, and this agent, I'll just escape it for a moment. To go back, whenever you add a node, it will open all its properties, right? So yeah, either you can click on the top left canvas, top left button that says back to canvas, or somewhere in the empty space. So this, okay. So one thing to note here before we really get started and adding everything in the detail is that every AI agent has a few things: chat model, memory, and a tool. A chat model is actually an LLM that you need to connect. It is your brain, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this chat model plus icon, and here you get a lot of options. You can add Azure OpenAI, you can add AWS, DeepSeek, but I'm going to click on Google Gemini chat model, right? And then from the credentials, say create new credentials, and here again it is asking me to create an API key. It is very easy. What you really need to do is it's actually one of my API key. You need to search for Google, no, Google AI Studio. Okay, the link is aistudio.google.com. It may change in the future, so it's better to just Google it. And from the top, you'll find a button that says Get API Key, and here you can create API key, and just create a project or select the existing one and create a new one. So I already have an API key here. I'm going to copy it, come back to my n8n, paste my API key, save it. It is saved, and the connection has also been tested. Perfect. Now, the one thing to note here, the other is model is very important. When I was creating this API key, I made sure that it was on Gemini 1.0 Flash or something. I don't remember. I think it has to do with your free subscription or something. But I think the one that I used while creating that API was this Gemini 1.5 Flash. So make sure you select the same model that is used for that API. The final thing that you need to add here in this Google Gemini chat here is the no, yes, you don't need to add anything here. That's the only thing that you need to add here. Perfect. Yeah, that's so your Google Gemini chat is perfect. You come to this AI agent once again. No, I think we'll come back here later on. Let's go on the memory. Now, the memory is very important. You click on this memory. Now, why is memory important? See, we're gonna chat with the Telegram, so it needs to have it needs to remember some of their past messages, right? That is why we use it. So you have many options here: MongoDB, Motorhead, Postgres. I don't even know a lot of them. I'm just going to click on simple memory. It is default by the n8n. You can use that. And here under the session ID, we're going to click on define below. And in the key, we're going to come down and drag and drop the chat ID here. Now, you may sometimes find out that you do not see this window here. You don't see all these options. And you only get this when you run this Telegram trigger for at least once, right? Unless you clear it. So please make sure that you run it once and then you actually drag and drop the chat ID here. Okay, so I think that's what we have done. Perfect. So that part is done. And please always make sure that you also click on save from top right. It's super important. Now inside the AI agents, what we're going to do, one more thing is inside the AI agents, we're going to double click on it, and from here source of prompt we are going to click on define below, and again from Telegram we are going to drag and drop this text because we want our AI agent to actually know about this text message, right? The message that is coming from the Telegram. So we have done that, and in the options we are going to click on add options and click on system messages. Now here it is very important. What is a system message? A system message is like a telling your AI agent what it needs to do. You see, we have given our AI agents access to Telegram, Gemini, we have given it a memory, we're also going to give it access to a Google Sheet, but all these things connected, your AI agent doesn't know what to do at all, right? So this is where you actually write it down. So what I have done is I've gone to ChatGPT and I've written very nice system prompt. I'm going to read it for you briefly. It says, you are an intelligent automation agent responsible for logging expense details received via Telegram bot into a spreadsheet. I'm also given an example that if someone says 400 rupees lunch at Cafe Coffee or a taxi for 300, your job is to extract relevant details such as amount, category, description, item, and date, and write them down into a structured row in an Excel sheet. Few other things I have written that, if expense date is not written, use the current date, add symbols, categorize nicely, make sure the Excel sheet is updated, yada, yada, yada. Okay, that thing is done. And so that's all we actually need to do here. Come back, and the final thing that we need to do is to click on tools. And tools are the thing that allows your AI agent to access the outer world. So here we are going to search for sheet. We're going to say Google Sheet, and here we're going to add new credentials. To create new, all you need to do is sign in with Google. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on Jimmy Dev Jimmy. My n8n account is already connected, so I'm just going to click on continue, and you say account is now connected. Perfect. Before we move forward, what we need to do is we need to actually go ahead and create a Google Sheet. So I'm going to Google Sheet, and the link is docs.google.com, and here I'm going to say n8n expense sheet. Not here actually, I need to go at the top and paste it here. And here, I can make some columns. For instance, date, it's gonna be item, it can be amount, it can be category, and it can be description. So these are the things that we want to be written. Okay, that thing is done. So our workplace name is n8n expense sheet, and at the bottom you can see the sheet name is also sheet 1. So you can have multiple sheet. So instead of saying expense sheet, I'm just gonna say n8n expense, so that you don't get confused. So this is workbook is called n8n expense, and this is the sheet name is sheet 1. We're going to come back to your n8n, and our this account is connected. Tool description set automatically. Resource sheet within a document, sheet within a document, that is perfect. And operation, what do we want it to perform? We want to actually add rows. That's what we are going to select. And now we need to select the document. So you can either provide a URL ID or actually from the list. So I'm gonna select from the list, click on choose, and here you can find all the sheet that exists in your account that you have connected. I'm gonna click on n8n expense, and from the sheet I'm going to select once again the sheet. So this is sheet 1. You see at the bottom it is sheet 1, so that is what it is. Now the most important part is you need to map each column manually. That is important. So the few things that I've been running this for a while now, and the date thing always messes up, right? I don't know why it always messes up. So the workaround I found out that if you click on date, you have two options, fixed and expression. We're going to use expression, and here what you need to do, you need to write a couple of curly braces, and these are actually JavaScript functions, and we're going to use now functions which actually add your current time and zone when the workflow runs. So that is there. Okay, and the item name, I misspelled it. Okay, so how are we going to pick the item? I'm going to click on this sparkle thing, which actually means that we will let the model define on its own. Okay, so it will do on its own. Amount again do on its own, categories similarly, and so also for the description. That is done now. Click on save. I hope everything is perfectly working fine. Okay, so all right, so if everything works fine, we should be able to go ahead and run our workflow. Let's click on execute workflow. Now it is waiting for the trigger to be run. I'm going to come back to my n8n expenses. Yeah, this was here it is. I'll say I spent 20,000 rupees from Delhi to Chennai flight. Okay, I'm gonna press enter. Now it is actually running here, so entire execution worked. Now if you go to the Excel sheet that we have made, Google Sheet, you can see it has date, item, amount, category, and also the description. Okay, so that thing works perfectly fine. What you can also do is you can click on this plus icon and search for Telegram. Now this I'm not gonna do because the video is getting very long. I click on Telegram, and you can also what do is send a text message, and inside the text message what you can do is you can actually pass the output. So what's going to happen is the message, when you send a message, it adds to your Google Sheets, and also it sends you a summary of all your recent expenses. That thing can also be done. So that's your homework to do it. Okay, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this video. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And there's so much to learn, right? And I'll keep on posting a lot of new stuff in this channel. So thank you so much, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.